Hello and welcome to the 18th green here at the Asprey. You're watching me and my golf TV. I'm Piers Ward and Andy. It's go low. What have we got in store today?
And today we're talking chipping. We're going to give you 3 of our best tips to help you play better chip shots. Let's take charge of your game.
Okay, it's time for Go Low. This is where we answer questions on your game to help you go low.
Yes, make sure you get involved and go to the Facebook, Instagram and Twitter today and post your questions on this week's topic. Use the hashtag GoLow. We could be answering your question.
Absolutely. So today's topic was all about short game, Andy. Now, on Monday we did the 3 top tips to stop the slice.
Yes.
So now we're going to do the 3 top tips to improve your contacts with your chipping, because a lot of people were talking about the chipping, their contact was off, their distance control was off. Well, actually, the 2 very much go hand in hand. If you get good contact, then your distance control will improve, as also will your accuracy. So we thought we'd go with 3 tips to cover up 3 horrible sins on chipping, yeah?
3 of the best ones.
3 of the best ones, 3 of the best ones. Right then, Andy, do you want to go through the first one?
First one, okay. We call this up, down and in, but let's explain what people do, I suppose, wrong, Piers, to start with. So first of all, we need my target line in, as you can see there. Now, what we see a lot of people do, Piers, with short game is that their swing is too shallow, especially with this one here. So what we see a lot of people do, they'll swing the club a little bit too much in and low on the way back. They'll swing back to the golf ball, but as they swing through, the club tends to try and get the club going towards the target or down the target line, or trying to swing it straight. These are all the things that we hear. So they're trying to swing the club in a straight line, and this often gets the club to bottom out too early. People get the grass first, or they even thin it across the back of the green. And this really is a destructive shot, because you've got a very straightforward shot here and people are struggling to get it close. And
that's okay with a driver maybe to swing like that, but as you said, when you're hitting a softer shot, less club head speed, ball on the ground, in this case in the rough as well, it's definitely going to be a problem. So the swing in itself is too shallow, effectively, and obviously pointing the club at target, no good. What do we want to see then? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the target just outside the golf ball there, and we call this up, down and in. So we're going to imagine the target line now is a wall in front of the club head, and what we're going to feel is on the way back, as opposed to being in, we're going to feel the club travel up the wall on the way back, down the wall on the way through. This is going to allow a good solid strike down on the ball, and then on the way through, here's the key thing, the club moves in from the target line. So it's going to be up, down and in, and this really does help you get that solid strike on the golf ball. Okay, have a go at that for me.
Okay, so up, down and in.
Beautiful strike. Could it go in? No, a little short, but nice shots. Now, definitely, I didn't get Andy to have a go there with the older technique, but if he had have done, the club would have been very shallow. He would have risked hitting the ground well before the ball, duffing it, maybe even thinning it, maybe even double hitting it. So if you've done either of those 3, make sure you check that one out.
I certainly don't want to. I don't want to practice those bad ones.
Hitting those double hits, definitely not a good idea. Okay, so the second one, the second major fault that we see. Let's go through the fault first.
More in the setup. It starts in the setup here. We see people with their shoulders very much tilted to the right. The right shoulder for a right-handed golfer gets very low, often because people are told to get the shaft forward. So this often leads to the shoulder being too low, and from here it produces a shallow backswing, and then from here we often see then almost a lift on the way through, and the head stays very back. Now, as you can see from here, this right shoulder is very low, and all the weight's back on the right side.
It's amazing that, you know, maybe the mindset is wrong and people are trying to lift it into the air. Even when they do what you do that again for me, Andy, so lean the shaft forward and even lean the weight on the left leg. So you'll see people will do this a lot. You know, they'll get in that position, but then they hit the shot, as Andy's doing there, the weight's coming back onto the trail foot. It's coming back onto the right foot.
You can see the
head
trace
is coming back.
Very low to high, isn't it? Again, great with the driver, not great with the short game.
Have a go hit a shot for me from there. I want to see if you can hit one. Sorry about that.
I can probably hit one. I'm pretty talented, but I don't really want to practice doing this.
Yeah, pretty good, but again, that was slightly heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, ground first, didn't quite go.
Not as good a result. So, show me how you want to correct this. How would you correct that?
As opposed to being here with the right shoulder low, we want to see if we can get the shoulder a little bit more neutral, so the right shoulder is going to come up higher. Feel as if we're leaning this way more towards the target. Now from here, on the way through now, as opposed to trying to help it and coming back this way, all I want to focus on from here is making sure I can turn and face the target. Now my weight is fully into this lead side now, and as you can see, I'm turning and looking at the target.
Looks simple. Have a go with the shot for me. Looks really good.
So right shoulder feeling high. All I'm going to do is make sure I turn through.
Great contact again. Now, a lot of people, when they do that for the first time, they talk about the fact that maybe their left arm feels like because it's straight, it inhibits them a little bit. If you've got to bend the left arm a little bit, soften it a little bit to help the right shoulder go higher, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Okay, Andy, What's the next one? What's going on with the wrists?
The next one is, it's a breakdown really of the structure of the setup. So we see from here, when we get too active with the wrists, the club is working too independent of the body and the arms. Not great for consistently hitting the golf ball, but not great for consistently judging distance as well.
Again, a lot of people will do this when they think that if they start turning their body, they'll create more power, number one. And number two, they may just do it because, again, they're trying to lift the golf ball into the air. Definitely. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. The club will do that for you, definitely. Okay, so Andy, what's the analogy that we would use with this?
Okay, so I've got my 56 degree here. I'm going to imagine that I've got a laser beam out the butt end of the golf club. Now, this is going to help it keep more structured as I swing back and through. The laser beam is going to stay pointing at the belly button as I swing back and as I swing through, and all the way through the swing, it's going to be pointing there. As you can see, if I sort of let the wrist take over, this laser beam is sort of going all over the place like a disco.
It's interesting. So do that one more time for me, or do it a few more times. If we just look at this, because his body turns less on the way back, the club is more. So the good one, sorry.
Oh, the good one.
The good one. So you can see as he's doing this, just hold there. So the club head is outside, so he is going up the wall, which is good. He's also got the laser beam into his body. Look how much his body's turned. Now as he swings through, his body's going to turn a lot more. So go through for me. And now you can see the body's turned more and the club has gone in. So he's done the up, down and in, and he's kept the laser going, and he had the right shoulder up in the air. So maybe those three do turn into one as well.
They do, yeah, and it's just finding something that works for you.
Yes,
one of these, you might find one of these drills work for you. Do you know what? Practice all three and find out which one works best.
So I'm going to challenge you again. Just hit me a bad one with the flicky wrists, if you could, please. So scoopy wrists. This is a tough one, but sometimes you can hit good ones. You'll notice it goes a lot higher and stops a lot quicker, and looks quite impressive when it works, but perhaps not the most consistent.
Definitely not consistent.
So this is laser beam chipping.
Okay. And again,
I definitely see up, down and in there as well, and I definitely see more level shoulders. And that contact is solid. It's the better shot out the last two you've just hit. Just
greens are fast.
They are fast, aren't they? But definitely there's going to be an element of consistency that you can learn from that.
Definitely.
So make sure you go through all three of those. Number one, up, down and in. That can really help the path of the club. Make sure that you're aware of where your shoulders are. If the shoulders are back and you're trying to lift it, it's going to affect the angle of attack when you're hitting the shot. And obviously from there, laser beam chipping as well, that's really going to stop those. Andy says you're going to be able to keep that structure in your arms and your body. It's going to stop them breaking down.
I don't think there's anything else left to say there, Pierce. You've covered that all. I think if you practice that, you will definitely be chipping better.
Absolutely.
Okay, there you have it, 3 of our best tips to help improve your chipping. Post any questions down below and we will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you don't already subscribe to the channel right here now, click the subscribe for loads of videos every single week.
Absolutely, guys. Now make sure you check out tomorrow's swing analysis. We've got a special guest, Richard Bland, European Tour professional. We're going to be looking at his driver swing. And also, guys, if you want more great short game videos, maybe we should get Richard to do some. His short game's awesome. If you want to see more short game videos, go to meandmygolf.com, click on the 7-day free trial here. Let us know how you're getting on with it. We know you'll be impressed. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, guys.